In this video, ang pag-uusapan naman natin is all about the projectile motion for projectiles launched at an angle. So, to save time, sinulat na natin yung mga iba't ibang formula natin and then yung mga examples. So, for projectile motion at an angle, the same lang yung formula for horizontally projectile objects. So, we have the following equations for horizontal and vertical. So for the acceleration, 0 meters per second kapag sa may horizontal, well, equal to g or gravity kapag dun sa may vertical. For initial velocity along x, ito yung formula natin, vi cosine theta. Well, for along y, vi sine theta. For the final velocity, that's equal to vix, or initial velocity along x-axis. For viy, that's equal to, or for vfy, that's equal to viy plus gt for the formula. For the range, that's vix times time. For height, we have 1/2 gt squared, or height is equal to final velocity y squared plus initial velocity y squared divided by 2g. Pero, you have to take note na may pagkakaiba po for the projectile motion launched at an angle and horizontally projectile objects. So, first, kung mapapansin ninyo kapag in-illustrate natin yung situation, magkakaroon siya ng parabola. So, ibig sabihin yan, yung range natin is parang madodoble, and then yung trajectory or yung path ng object na projectile is parang madodouble siya. So, ibig sabihin nun, the time will also be doubled. So, ito yung take note natin. So, for initial velocity along y, highest siya pag nasa baba. While pag nasa taas na, vfy is equal to 0. Okay? Bakit? Diba kapag nag-throw ka ng objects pataas, habang papataas siya, nababawasan yung velocity niya. Nagiging 0. So, that's one that you have to take note. And another, kapag ginamit natin tong formula na to for solving for the time, mangyayari yung time natin will be half lang. Ibig sabihin, yung makakover lang niya na time using that formula is ito lang. Yung first trip lang. So, para makuha natin yung second trip, kailangan natin i-times 2 para makuha natin yung time of flight. Again, yung nakukuha lang natin kapag ginamit natin yung vertical distance or yung height is yung time of rise lang or time of fall. Or yung time of fall. Para makuha yung time of flight, kailangan i-times 2 natin siya. So, pag ginamit naman natin ito, yung range vix times time, yung nakukuha natin dyan is yung time of flight. Okay? So, kailangan ninyong tandaan yun. Don't be confused kasi dapat alam natin yung concept. Yun yung pinaka-important aside from the equation itself. So, kunin natin yung example in a bit. Okay, let's take this problem as an example. An object is projected from the ground with an initial velocity of 24.5 meters per second at 30 degrees above horizontal. Find the horizontal and vertical components of velocity, time to reach the maximum height, time of flight, maximum height attained by the object, speed at maximum height, range, and the velocity upon striking the ground. So, yan yung problem natin. Masyadong madami yung hinahanap, yung pinaproblema. So, first, para ma-initialize natin itong problem solving na to, we have to enumerate the given. So for the given, we have this is the initial velocity. So Vi is equal to 24.5 meters per second. And we also have the angle, which is equal to 30 degrees. So theta, 30 degrees. And meron tayong invisible na given, which is the gravity, 9.8 meters per second square. Again, constant po ang G. So, ano ngayon yung required? Yung kailangan natin hanapin. Medyo madami-dami. First, find the horizontal and vertical components of velocity. That's Vix and Viy. Tapos, ano pa? Time to reach the maximum height. Okay, time of flight. Okay, TOF. Ano pa? Maximum height attained by the object. Height is equal to, yan, speed at maximum height. So, VFY, and also the range and velocity upon striking the ground. So, VF. Okay. So, before we start, inspect muna natin yung mga hinahanap, yung required. Sabi natin kanina, VI is equal to VF. So, ibig sabihin, ito, automatic, palitan na natin para hindi na natin hanapin later. VF is equal to 24.5 meters per second. Ano pa ba? Meron pa? Yung time, times 2 lang yan para maging TOF. Okay, I guess wala na. So, let's proceed with the equation. So, for the equation, for Vix, that's Vix is equal to cosine ni Vi cosine theta. For Viy, that's Vi sine theta. Okay, so for time, pwede natin gamitin ito. Ano pa ba yung hinahanap? Time of flight, times 2 lang yan. So, magiging TOF is equal to 2T. Height. So, height is equal to VFY minus VIY divided by 2G. Pwede natin gamitin yan. Ano pang hinahanap? VFY. So, VFY. Ano kayang final velocity? Yan yung nalimutan natin i-inspect. Sabi natin kapag initial velocity is maximum siya. Pero kapag nasa pinaka-top na or sa may pinaka-taas, nagiging 0 na siya. So, delete na natin ito. Magiging 0 na agad yan. Okay. So, wag na natin problemahin yun. For the range, ang formula natin, range is equal to Vix times time. And I think that's about it. Okay, so for solution, Let's start with VIX. VIX is equal to, what's the VI? 24.5 meters per second. Cosine angle is 30 degrees. So, isolve lang natin. So, 21.2. Well, for VIY, 24.5 meters per second sine 30 degrees. VIY is equal to 12.25 and the unit is meters per second. Okay, so nakuha na natin yung VIX and VIY. So by this time, solve naman natin yung time. So to solve for time, gagamitin natin itong equation na to. But first, we have to understand that gaya ng sinabi natin kanina, kapag sa may projectile motion at an angle, yung VFY niya is equal to 0. Well, the VI, Y is equal to maximum number. So, dapat matanggal na ito. Maging 0 na yan. So, in this case, yung formula natin is magbabago. So, from VF 0 na yan is equal to VIY plus GT. So, ano mangyayari dyan? Kailangan natin i-transpose and cross-multiply. Ito, lipat natin dyan. Well, this, i-cross-multiply natin, magiging itsura niya ay time is equal to VIY over G. Okay. Let's continue. So to solve for time, transpose lang natin. VIY is ito na. Pwede ba natin gawing 12.3 na lang? Para pareha sila ng significant digit. 12.3 meters per second divided by 9.8 meters per second square. 1.3 seconds. So the time is equal to 1.3 seconds. So now, yung next na hinahanap naman is yung time of flight. And for time of flight, gagamitin natin itong formula na to. So, TOF is equal to 2 times the time, which is 1.3 seconds. So, TOF then is equal to 2.6 seconds. Yan yung time of flight natin. Okay. Now, hanapin naman natin yung height. Yung formula natin is equal to VFY squared minus VIY squared divided by 2G. And take note na yung VFY natin is 0 na yan. So, cancel. Matitira na lang is height is equal to VIY squared divided by 2G. Substitute lang natin yung mga given. And we will get, for VIY, that's 12.3 meters per second. Tapos, square natin siya. Divided by 2G. So, yung G dyan, magiging 9.8 meters per second square. Okay. Answer natin is 7.7. So, the height will be equal to 7.7 meters. And of course, for the last one, yung RVIX times time, hanapin natin yung range. So, take note, yung gagamitin natin na time dito is yung time of flight. Kasi ngayon sinabi natin kanina, kapag yung buong action, yan yung time of flight. Kapag kalahati lang, time of rise or time of fall. So, gagamitin natin is yung time of flight. So, substitute lang natin yung given. R is equal to VIX, that's 21.2 meters per second, times the time of flight, equal to 2.6 seconds. Ang makukuha nating range is 55 meters. Okay. So, yan na yung buong problem natin. Nasagot natin yung sample problem 16.2. So, sa next video, isolve natin yung practice exercise 16.2 naman.